What's up, guys? It's National Master Dem Apples here, back again with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 tips that you can use to improve your strategy in chess. So the first tip is going to be controlling the center. As you can see, I've got a pretty firm grip on the center, and this guy's just gonna give me a free pawn for whatever reason. Damn, he's really into giving me free pawns. Controlling the center is not just important in the opening, it's also really useful in the middle game as well as the end game. And the reason why is because your pieces in the center can simply just control more squares. It's really just that simple, and they can get to any part of the board much more quickly. So this guy is playing some interesting chess. I believe this is some certain gambit, and it's perfectly fine for white. But the thing is, here, what we want to do, right, is, and this is on to tip number 2, right, we want to exchange pieces. Why we want to exchange pieces? Well, we're up 1 point, as you can see, because this guy so graciously gifted us a pawn at the beginning of the game. So, if he's going to give me an opportunity to trade, I'm just going to take it. Now, if I take, and he takes back with the queen, I would trade. But the thing is, things could get a little bit spicy here and heated up. If I take, and he takes and takes and takes, there are some threats on f7 and b7 that I don't really want to deal with. So instead, I'm just going to play the calm move and castle. Now this does give him the bishop, but after queen takes, I have the threat of queen to c5, threatening the bishop and the king, which gives me some really important time. He goes here, and this is a pretty bad move because of something I know that's called the boomerang knight. First, the knight goes here, capturing a piece. It usually works with the d5, but of course you can reverse the colors. And as you can see, the boomerang knight is defending my bishop. So if he decides to take back, well, joke's on him. Yeah, he just lost a piece because the boomerang knight came back and protected it. So he's doing the right thing, right? He's trying to not exchange pieces because he's down material. However, this move just allows more exchanges, and I'm not going to go for it yet, I think, because it lets his queen get really active. But there is the idea of going bishop takes knight, takes with anything, and queen to d4 check threat with a double attack on the king and the bishop. The problem with this is that at the end of the line, my knight is hanging on e7. So I'm just going to go knight to c6, protecting my knight, and now I threaten to take and go queen to d4 check. Now, my opponent, being my opponent, completely misses this entirely, and I'm going to go queen to d4 check, taking his bishop, and yeah, thanks for the free piece, I guess. His idea is definitely to go queen h5, and oh, wow. Would you look at that, we already won. Now, I feel like this is not enough to do this justice, right? Let's control the center. So I'm going to go for pawn to c4 here. This still controls the center. Goes e5. I'm going to keep controlling the center, and yeah, central control is not just important in the opening, as I said, but as I said earlier, when you're up material, you want to exchange pieces and stuff like that, right? You want to exchange evenly because eventually you get down to a situation where it's one piece against none, and that's easy. So I'm going to go for knight to f3 here. I'm going to castle, probably going to go e3 with the plan of expanding in the center as well. Goes knight to f6. This is perfectly fine by me. Just going to castle. Goes bishop here. I'm going to go pawn to h3. I don't always do this. This is a slight error by him. He should not be trying to exchange his bishop for my knight, because this bishop will reign supreme on this diagonal, and he's never checkmating me when I have this bishop on the board. So what I'm looking at now is pawn to e3. I want to get d4 or b4 in, which will gain space. And you can see, I just have a slightly more pleasant position than him. I'm going to give him this advance. He can advance his pawn all he wants, but he's not going to accomplish anything, because I'm just going to go back, and now this pawn is known as what we call, well, a target. Now, You could argue that, oh, the pawn is very strong. He goes knight here, and yeah, you're right. I probably should have thought a bit more about that before letting his pawn to e4, but this is just a blitz game, and I'm just trying to explain some principles. So he goes pawn to d5. I'm going to use a Gotham chess moment here and ignore it, using something called danger levels. Now, this move, does it really do anything? No, but it's trappy, right? If he goes bishop here, I will trap his bishop. And so, yeah, by doing this, I'm indirectly getting more central control. His bishop's going to have to move out, and then it's one less piece in the center, right? So let's see what he's going to do. He goes pawn to d4. Wow, he's danger leveling my danger levels. I'm not quite sure about this one. I'm thinking right now of just going knight to e2, and when he moves, I'm going to take. But let's calculate a bit, right? I can also go knight to d5, because after takes, I threaten the knight and the bishop, so he's forced to give up material. Additionally, a knight on d5 is pretty nice. I'm also looking at knight takes e4. Knight takes e4, takes and takes, but for some reason, I don't know why, it just doesn't look super appetizing to me. So I'm going to play my knight into d5. Let's see what he's going to do. Another idea behind this move is that, okay, he takes here, which is just a mistake, because now I have attacks on the bishop and the knight, and now he's just losing material. So we can execute phase 2, right? A lot of the times your opponents, and even at the 2000 plus level, right, they blunder material. Now it might not be this obvious, it might not be a queen, might not be a piece, and this is the wrong step down. Yeah, it seems like our opponent's already getting confused, because after this move, right, we activate our queen. He's activated our queen, I guess, but we offer to exchange queens, and that's really not what he wants. So bishop b2, just getting all my pieces into the game. That was another tip. And yeah, use all your pieces, take full advantage of your material, and yeah, start an attack. I am getting my queen out of the way with tempo, threatening checkmate. Tempo moves are really important. I could maybe grab this pawn, but after pawn to f5, this would be a fork, and it's not that bad, because after queen to g5, if he takes my bishop, I can take his queen, which is a pretty nice play, but the question is, how greedy do I want to be? I'm already up a decent amount of material, so I don't think it's worth grabbing this pawn, but because I'm just such a... No, I'm not. I'm not that greedy of a person when I'm up material. So this is fine. I'm just going to try to wrest control of the file. Let's see what he does. Rook takes. This is another beginner mistake. You don't want to trade pieces and give your opponent the file. See, now I got the file, and he has nothing. Now, he must have thought that this move was a fork, but unfortunately for him, it's not a fork. It is most certainly not a fork. Now, did I blunder? Probably, but no. Honestly, I don't blunder this, because my queen is still defending my rook, so I'm perfectly fine. I'm just going to drop my bishop into f6, where it exerts even more pressure on his position. He can take my rook, and he can try to chase my queen out. But it's not going to work, because I'm going to go queen to d7, which still protects my rook. Say h5, queen d7, and yeah, I'm perfectly fine. In fact, I'm attacking his rook, and he should be very careful. So let's see what he's going to do. Alright, our opponent has moved. He's gone for pawn to h6. Honestly, I'm thinking of just going in with queen to d7 right away. But this move could possibly be a bit hasty. I'm thinking about rook to d7 right now. I'm not sure how good this move is, but it does look rather powerful getting onto the second rank. That's definitely something to consider. I think I'm just going to play it right away. I am not scared of checks. A lot of beginners are scared of checks, but not me. I'm just going to hide on h2, and if they don't really have a follow-up, then it doesn't matter, right? So let's see what our opponent is going to play. Alright, our opponent does give us a check. Queen d1 would exchange off more pieces, but I'm not really interested in that, right? I have a pretty nice attack, and yeah, I'm not quite sure what he does. We have a lot of active pieces. I'm going to play bishop takes e4, threatening bishop takes g6, and a lot of other nasty ideas, including bishop to d5. There are lots of sacrifices around, and yeah, I don't think our opponent can deal with all of them. So he goes for this. It looks like a fork, but I'm just going to take here, and he doesn't really have anything. I'm going to play bishop takes g6 as well, just because I know that he's going to get checkmated if I take here. Now you might say, oh, scary, scary, this is a fork. But I can just take this pawn, and I'll be perfectly fine because it's check, right? So he doesn't have time to take my queen. I'm just realizing I'm rather low on time, but this is fine. He's getting checkmated. If king f8, queen g7, king e8, and queen to f7 will be checkmate. So really nice game here. As you can see, we were just up material, consolidated it, and we won the game. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.